Welcome to Shekinah. We hope you enjoy this message by Chris Watterson.
What we have available, and the biggest one being he can. Santa Claus is not omnipotent. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, careful. As long as you can't hear that, yeah. All right. So, when you finally get around and you want to be redeemed with somebody, right, that you walked with or some issues are going on, I always tell people there's these three things I try to do.
Redeemed or restored?
1, 2, 3. To be restored, yeah, to be restored to someone. Or even when you leave someone, even when Paul might have left Barnabas. You know, maybe he left it in a good place with him and said these three things, which I, tell people they should emphasize so they leave in a good place. Okay, the first one is say thank you. Say thank you for all you've done for me, the help, blah, blah, blah. It should take about 3 hours, if it's like a lot of great things. Because I know people that, supervise or whatever, that I've had to counsel to say you dwell on the 10%, not on the 90. So they're always tearing people down on the 10 they're not doing, instead of, have you ever told them what they're doing right? So they know, something's good, right? So you say thank you. And then you say for yourself, I'm sorry for anything I've done that's less than it should have been. So thank you, I'm sorry. And then number 3, I forgive you for anything that you did that was less than it should have been towards me. Right? So does that put you on an even keel? Because when you leave then, you've covered the bases, at least in Chris's terms. Alright, so I've only got a little bit more here, and then we can talk about these things. Or deal with them as we need to. Alright. Now, something happened. Go to 2 Timothy chapter 4. Pardon?
What verse?
2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 9 through 11. And Paul's feeling a little bit down because he's in the same place he was. He's doing work, and then some people had to go and do some other things. But let me read this. He's talking to Timothy. Be diligent to come to me quickly, for Demas has forsaken me, having loved this present world, and has departed for Thessalonica. Crescens for Galatia, Titus for Dalmatia. Only Luke is with me. Get Mark and bring him with you, for he is useful to me for ministry. That's the same Mark that he said, I don't want him going with us. And all of a sudden, he's useful for me in ministry. The tale of restoration, right? Isn't that great? So, sometimes we might think something about someone when we first meet them, but they might end up 30 years later being your best pal, right? And you messed it up because you said, ooh, you eat too much, or whatever, But even Darth Vader was redeemed, remember? His son said, I feel good in you, and then he threw the bad guy down the little hole, and then, he redeemed himself, right? Even though it was in a weird Star Wars way. So, what does everyone think about that?
I actually have a testimony about a very big happening this weekend.
Okay.
We had a keynote speaker at this event that we were at, and my first encounter with this particular individual. They just were growing, especially in the area of...
Thanks for tuning in to this week's message. Be sure to visit us online for more exciting content.